Maltmates, welcome to the Whisky Bothy. I'm Ralphie, somewhere in the middle of the Irish Sea, bringing you original and insightful reviews relating to quality spirits. And I have a very good quality spirit here that I shall be introducing to you right now after I've poured a wee dram. This, by the way, is review number 1078. This is an independent bottling. Long-term viewers of this channel will know that in recent years in particular, I've grown a lot more inquisitive about independent bottlings, which are in fact the whisky bottled by another company that isn't the original distillery. So the distillery owners will sell a proportion of their casks onto what's called the secondary commercial market, where independent bottlers who may or may not have a distillery of their own will buy a number of casks, and then they will basically keep an eye on them, monitor them, and bottle them when they think they're ready. One of the major differences between official bottlers and independent bottlers is that the official bottlers, in other words the distillery owners, tend to focus on engineering what's called the brand experience, and what they perceive, although it's not always the case, is the consistency of that brand delivery. So in other words, you get the house style. You tend to get it either as predominantly bourbon or to predominantly sherry, or a combination of the two, but always you find that carefully engineered and very accessible signature that relates to the single malt whisky distillery. Now and again on my journey, I will see a bottle of independently prepared single malt, and it's up to me to do what's called the forensics. And I did the forensics in this. I bottled it. I bottled it. No, I haven't bottled it at all. I wish I was. I bought this on a hunch, having cross-examined other brief reviews, and there's not many, there's very few, because this is a single cask bottling. There's very little of it, but there are a lot of single cask bottlings from independent bottlers. They thrive on them because they know they deliver a calibre of experience generally which experienced whisky drinkers simply enjoy a lot, particularly with a developed palate. And I'll come back to that in my extras, my next review coming along shortly. So I've poured a glass of this. Let me introduce the bottle. Where's my steampunker? I will be needing it. This is bottled by Glenmore Spirits Company, independent bottler. It's bottled at 54.3%. It's 18-year-old Deanston. It is non-chill filtered. It is natural colour. This is bottle 112 of 271 bottles, which gives some idea of the size of the cask. Usually, not always. And this was distilled in 2006 and bottled last year in 2024. So we're getting the basic information that we need to know. We're not getting a lot of flannel here. They do give some tasting notes here, but I tend to ignore them because I have got tasting notes of my own, which are more relevant to me. The reason I bought this bottle is because it is unusual to see Deanston as an independent bottling. There's really not a lot out there. Now, this producer, this independent bottler, has got to either buy directly from the distillery or from an intermediary working directly with the distillery. And what we know about Deanston is they take whisky making seriously. They bottle at 46% natural colour, unchill filtered. Generally the quality of what they produce is very good. Not 100%, but it's high. A lot higher than some other distilleries. So this gives me a clue already as to what I should be expecting and what I'm looking for. So we'll start with the nose here. Very little alcoholic nip. That's the first thing that strikes me. Okay, I'm going to move this bottle forward so you get a better view of the label. You might want to take a screenshot if it actually works. A full, soft, slightly syrupy, slightly half-sweet sherry nose. Really good quality sherry cask. I'm getting some decent calibre of wood coming through with the sherry, and it's immediately on the nose. So this has been active maturation. Has it had the full duration in one cask? Maybe not. What matters more to me is the calibre of what maturation it has had. So it could be one cask, it could be 2, 3 casks along the way, depending if it's been decanted. These things do happen. However, we can only go on what our nose is telling us. And our nose tends to be more reliable than the information or misinformation that can appear on whisky bottle labels. Some prunes, dates, slight nuttiness. I'm getting some red fruit and something appley coming through as well. This is an intense and wide-ranging nose. So I'm going to go for the first sip now because the first nose is very promising indeed. First taste. Beautiful, rich, almost syrupy single malt in a really good cask, which has not just got the distinctive Deanston character of this is a Highland style of whisky. You notice it in the fullness of the arrival and the dryness of the finish. It's not as sweet as Speyside finishes generally, though not always, generally are. Very intriguing, quite short on the palate, so the arrival's good quality and then it kind of fades quite rapidly, but I'm not bothered by that because it is at 54 point something percent. What is it again? 54.3%. So I will naturally be adding water in the knowledge that people that don't add water are not getting the full range of the experience. And this will be validated by chemists, if you care to ask them, because I spoke to one recently, said, yeah, when you add water, it actually allows the palate to get more out of the liquor, not just the anaesthetic effect of the alcohol. It's more complex than that, a lot more complex. So I've added 5 millilitres of water. Let's see how the nose adapts. The quality just gets better. The cask is magnificent. The softness, this is a very sublime, genteel, almost feminine sherry monster influence. I think there's something going on there. I wouldn't say it's either a Marsala or a Madeira cask, I'm not quite sure, but it's as if it's kind of sherry but not quite. It is certainly not your typical standard ex-Oloroso sherry hogshead. I'm getting a different signature here. The cask is very parallel with the spirit itself. They're both very much interlocking, in tandem, and both are kind of supporting one another in delivering the experience. Back to the nose. Some cranberry coming through, distinctive cranberry notes, a little bit of mild banana, a little bit of soft, almost confectioner's ginger, and a very slight tingle in the background of pepper. Not quite black pepper, I'm going to call it brown pepper, so it's off black. Okay? So not got that bitingness that you get from black pepper. Taste. The length just explodes. It's magnificent. I'm adding more water. It's really developing. Now, don't forget, 1 minute in the glass for each year in the cask. So I should really leave it 20-25 minutes before you go anywhere near it. It really, really helps that once you've let it settle with a drop of water, pour another glass neat side by side and do immediate comparative comparison between the two. Because comparative comparison helps you compare. And Ralphie says so. I've added more water, it'll certainly take it. Lovely viscosity. The threads of the oil and the alcohol are hanging in there beautifully. Soft, sublime, as you expect from independent bottlings that deliver the singularity of the single cask. There's complexity in the sensation range. Beautiful sour, beautiful grain bitters, soft umami, slight wood dust, slight library notes. Absolutely exquisite. Really, really enjoying this. Very glad I bought it. Wait for it, folks. It's one of the best versions of Deanston I've ever come across. If you can find it, good luck. If you can't find it, don't worry. There'll be more single cask bottlings coming along shortly. 88 out of 100. And that's really, frankly, all I have to say about this. I am very, very glad I bought this. It was under £100 a bottle for 18-year-old single cask strength whisky. What's there not to like? How do we get these bottles? Patience, perseverance, and experience. Sniff them out. You'll find them either at online stores or in independent specialist whisky retailers. And now you know. See you soon.